What's going on, guys? So personally, I love window tint. It's one of the first things I do to any vehicle that I get, and I always post a video about it. And there's always a lot of opinions because people either love really dark tint or they really hate it and think if you go 1% darker than legal, you should immediately go to jail. So I figured, you know what? We got 3 different trucks, 3 different tint percentages. So let's do a little side-by-side comparison. Maybe you're thinking about getting window tint. You don't really know what percentage you want to do. So we'll have an inside and outside perspective for you so you can exactly see what you're going to be getting into if maybe you're thinking about going a little bit darker than legal. So like I said, 3 different vehicles going from 20%, 5%, 2%. So we're going to just do a couple walk arounds and show you what the ins and the outs are and how you feel about them. And it should be pretty much the same as what I see as far as like what comes across on camera, but just take it with a grain of salt. It is videoed, it's not directly with your eyes. So over here on the Trail Boss, we went the lightest because this is my daily driver. I've got multiple tint tickets in the past, and I just wanted to go nice and light on this one to hopefully not have any more issues with that. But we just got the front 2 windows tinted to match the factory rear ones, which is about 20%. We also got a 5% front brow. I like the way they look. They also cut down on some of the light coming through. So this is nice and safe for everyone. You can see in. It's not like the factory no glass or no tint where people can see like freckles on your face. Now you're more of like a silhouette. So they can still see, hey, there's a person in here, but they can't really see, hey, this is, I don't know, Jim Bob that's got a booger hanging out of his nose or something. So you can still see in there, obviously, and in person you can see in a little bit better than on camera because it's picking up so many reflections on camera. But it's it's all right. It's not my favorite, but it's kind of what I got to run right now. It's a lot better than fishbowling, but it's definitely not as dark as I would like it. I usually run 5%, and that's my favorite because in most cases you can't see in, but you can still see out great. Obviously this tint you can see out of perfectly fine at all times of the day or night. You're not gonna have any issues. Totally see out of it perfect. And you do feel a lot better than fishbowling. This is definitely the cheapest way to get it professionally done. It's less than $100 to just get your front 2 tinted. This was professionally done. I did these myself. They're not perfect. I'm gonna be redoing them. That's why I'm making this video right now before I do that. So 20%, it's a safe bet. Shouldn't get in any trouble with it. Over here on Earl, we actually have a combination of 20% and 5%. So 20% on the front 2 windows, and then 5% on the back quarter windows and the rear glass. So on this one, you can see straight through it, versus this is not nearly as clear because you have the 5% on the back. So once again, on the front 2, you can still see in it. It's definitely a little bit darker because of the 5%. It's also a smaller cabin, but you can still see in it nice and safe. Everybody can see you. You can see if there's a person in there. But then you come back to the 5% and it's like a mirror. Obviously at least in Alabama, your back glasses, they can be a sheet of vinyl. They don't have to, there's no percentage law on them. So a nice 5% definitely blacks it out good. There's no seeing in if you're driving behind me or whatever, at least in this lighting. Maybe in direct sunlight, I don't know, tint works weird sometimes. But overall, it's a nice combination. You can see out great during the day or at night, yet you also have privacy of no one being able to see in from the rear, and the tint on the rear being darker. It definitely darkens it up in here as well. So it feels a little bit darker, but it's nice. I enjoy it. It's a good middle ground. So not running super illegal front window tint, but having nice dark rear tint, which is legal. So on there you can see through the whole thing. Sometimes it looks weird if you get the back completely blacked out, but you can still see in here. So I guess that's pretty clean looking. You can still kind of see through all of it. It's pretty much the same percentage. Whereas on here, you know, see you too. These have a big front windshield so you can see all up in there. But yeah, overall 20% paired with a 5%, nice and clean, works well. And then that leaves us with the problem child here. This is Larry rocking the 2% all the way around. So 2% windshield brow, 2% on the doors, 2% on the quarter, and then 2% on the back glass. There is absolutely no seeing in this truck unless you're creeping through the front windshield. Doesn't matter what angle you're looking at, you're not seeing in this glass, period. Wow, I need to get all that etching out of this thing. That's insane. But yeah, it's literally just a mirror. Obviously, oh, right there, there's a little, the tint came with a corner missing. I just haven't replaced it. They sent me a new one. But yeah, you can still see in some from the windshield. Obviously, there's no tint aside from the brow. 2% is not the move, if I'm being honest. It's so incredibly dark. It is not fun to drive with. It gets real old real quick. It makes for a good title and thumbnail, but I'm definitely fixing to swap it out for some lighter tint, probably all the way around, but if for sure on the front windows. Maybe I'll leave it on the rear. If you want complete security, 2% is your best bet, but if you like driving at night, probably not. So it's like nighttime in here now, and if I'm being honest, some days when it's like super bright outside, I'll get kind of sick feeling because it's so dark on the sides and then it's blindingly bright coming through the windshield. I don't know, there's been a couple of times where I got sick feeling like it was just being overwhelmed by the light coming through. I don't really know what's up with that, but as you can see, it's very much like a mirror on there. So I definitely would not recommend 2%. I know there's going to be people on this saying they run like 15 layers of 5%. That's perfectly fine. Stacking as many, like stacking 10 layers of 5 is, it doesn't matter. 2%, this is really as dark as it's going to get, because once you can't see in, you're only hurting yourself from seeing out. So yeah, this is definitely darker than you really would ever want to get. And this is something you're definitely going to get pulled over for if you have any cop that's worried about tint at all. I always drive with the windows down, so it's not really an issue for Larry or for myself with Larry. But yeah, so definitely would not recommend 2%, but I would recommend 5%. I've always enjoyed 5% on my vehicles, and I went like 6 years without having any issue, and then I get hit with multiple in 1 year tickets. So pretty lame. But I think 5% is literally perfect. You can't really see in, but you can see out great unless it's like storming and you're having to back up. You maybe then you'll have to roll your window down or something. But aside from that, 5% is my favorite. I will say the 20% 5% combo, that's really nice. 2%, not a chance, never do that again. And then the 20% on the Trail Boss is just too light for me. I don't enjoy it that much. I mean, it's all right, it gets the job done, but it would look better and I would feel better if it was 5%. Maybe we'll do that eventually, but I haven't got any tickets with all 3 of these. Obviously, I drive this one a lot. These not so much, so that's your reason for that. With all that being said, definitely comment down below and let me know what you think the best tint percentage is. Super dark, super light, somewhere in the middle. Let me know, and I'll see you all in the next one.